Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined, oh my God, again, back by Miss Eboni Williams.
You forgot my K, David. You
Okay,
already know. And I saw you thinking about it.
okay, first of all, my voice cracked and I forgot your K.
Okay.
Unacceptable. Eboni K. Williams, of course. You know what? This just shows how comfortable I feel with you because you've been on here so many times.
Yeah, I think this is my third time. It's fun.
I've dropped your K.
You've dropped my K. Pick it back up, please, David.
Um, what is going on? Tell me everything. First of all, we have 2019 vibes again. We're back in the studio.
Are. I know. It's so nice. Good vibes, man. Just coming fresh off of a Watch What Happens live appearance with Miss Shannon Bedore, which was so fun, actually.
Was it fun?
Yeah, I had met her before.
You did?
Yeah, so that was my first time meeting her in person. But Andy was yesterday years old when he found out I'm a day one Real Housewives of Orange County watcher. Yeah, back in the Slade Joe days and, the beginnings of Kodo Insurance, honey. Yeah.
You also made a reference on Watch What Happens that, Orange County put Housewives on the map.
And I don't even know what's controversial about that. I mean, they literally started the franchise. That's also not in contradiction to what I said on The View when I guest hosted, which is reality TV in general was put on the backs of black women, right? And I said Nene Leakes by name. So for anybody that was confused, honey, there's no confusion. Reality TV owes, its backbone to black women. Separate and apart from that, when it comes to where I and many, many, many others were introduced to Real Housewives, that's OC all day. They were the first.
I think it's the OC all day. I think the controversy is at BravoCon. Ramona gets up and says,
and that's what I was referring to. Yeah.
And that's what I thought you were referring to.
Of course. Ramona's going to Ramona, which is, endearing in its own way. So it was cheeky fun. People took it a little too serious.
What? Okay, so before we
put a pin in that. Yeah, put a pin in that. Yeah.
Oh, no, because I've got a lot to say about Watch What Happens, but...
Shocker, David.
I just wanted to say congratulations. You're back on our TV screen.
Thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, it's been... I knew a lot of this was coming, meaning like Beyond the Edge. We talked about it. We've teased it. We, didn't know when CBS was going to, kind of premiere. And we had a great premiere. We got the time slot that the network wanted, which is right after Survivor. And it would have helped on the front end had I seen, I don't know, a single episode of Survivor to know a little bit of what I was getting myself into. But as you saw in episode 1 of Beyond the Edge, I was a fish out of water.
You never, Jeff
Not
Probst,
even
not
one
really?
episode. And then by the time I was approached by CBS to join this cast, and they didn't tell us who else was going to be on the cast. They just were like, 10, it was supposed to be originally 10, spoiler alert, celebrities and whatever. And I was like, sure, charity, absolutely, sounds great. I also wanted something so different from RHONY coming off of just a very intense, debut season experience. And so I knew if I watched a season at that point, David, of Survivor, I might hype myself out of it. So I was just like, woo, 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 pack, let's go to Panama. And then the shit hit the fan. Maybe literally.
Yes. I mean, I think if you watch Survivor, you might have said, oh my God, what am I getting into?
I probably would have said, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, why did you say yes?
But I'm glad I did. Okay, so I said yes for 2 reasons. I know it's like whatever, but it was my Safe Horizon, which is my charity that I'm, I'm literally on the board of directors. It could not mean more to me. It's domestic violence, it's child abuse, it's men who find themselves victims of violence. It's big. And if you're in New York, Safe Horizon. The work we do is phenomenal. So that was huge, and not just the money, because yes, we all, thank God to be the glory, could write a check for what we earned. The visibility, the promotional value of, what CBS network primetime TV can put behind an organization like Safe Horizon. It'll change lives. So that's my big yes. The other was I was a little depressed, David, coming off of all of that intensity. Of RHONY's 13 and just and beyond that, still coming off of healing from my broken engagement and finding my father and still not actually having a relationship with him, which we haven't talked a lot about, but we only have had that one conversation to this day, my father and I, and that's tough. That's not how I thought that would go. That's not how I wanted that to go. So it was a lot of shit. And so when CBS called in August, no, maybe like June or July of 2021, I was like, I need some change. It was my Shonda Rhimes kind of "You're a Yes" moment.
Okay.
Where I just was like, this is so random. Of all the people in the world, they called me out the blue. I have to say yes to this.
Why were you depressed from RHONY? I mean,
Really? I'm sorry.
Okay, well, there's a lot of there's a lot of answers.
There's a
that
lot
you
of
could-
answers. Yeah, actually that's fair. It's certainly not one person. Let me be very clear about that. It's not one person. It's not one episode. It's not one thing. I think it it just all felt so heavy in a way that, and we've had this conversation on and off air, David. I am so kind of, maybe for some, surprisingly optimistic around what like my goals were for the season, my goals for even the conversations as they relate to race and culture and shared humanity. I just saw all that shit going in a very different direction and having a very different ending. And actually, if you watch the finale episode, we got there. We got that, not because everything was resolved, but we got to like a place where everybody was finally able to put their guard down, let their hair down, let the titties hang out, and have a good time.
Yeah.
And then it was really the social media, the replay, the press. We all participated in it. And it just took us, I think, all to a pretty icky place.
Yes. And that's why I also want to make reference. You and I sat down at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Everyone's going to hear that episode too.
Yes.
We talked about that. And, this might come out probably before, but that's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah.
There really was no controversy.
No.
During the show per se, everything was worked out. It was after the fact.
We had a great summer together as a cast in terms of like in the group chats when Lou's dog, like it was all good vibes until literally like the second or third episode aired, and people started responding to the conflict on the episodes that the women and I had moved past or through, really. And I just think none of us were prepared for that.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
And then the whole media and people putting stories.
Ooh,
Listen,
baby.
you've been in the media forever now.
Not like this. Not like this, Dave. Like, I've been in the news. I've been in talk radio. I've been in like news gathering newsrooms, not the machine of reality TV and like the tears that come with that, because there's the filming of it. There's the taping of the confessionals, the airing, the social media response, and then the kind of mass media outlet response. And it all is a factor.
Yes. And then housewives that know what they're doing, whether they're there for, say, their second season or many seasons.
Right.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. And I didn't know that there was an expectation of housewives, especially new housewives, I think to kind of operate in a bit of a protective mechanism to existing castmates. And like there was this kind of unspoken code of, shit might have gone down on the season and that's fine. No one's going to say anything until reunion. And then, operate in this kind of, like I said, kind of code of protection of one another. No one told me that. I was certainly not out to get anybody, but I was just speaking, off the cuff and what was on my mind at the time in interviews that I did. And I think that was met with strong reaction from my castmates.
I think so.
You think?
Well, yes. So that's why you were depressed. I mean,
it was just sad. It just, again, I only myself, I guess, and God will ever really know this. It was so far from the positive, just warm togetherness that I really thought we had achieved. And